The fourth play in our New Orleans Saints gun empty Trey mini scheme is to play wide receiver screen. Now, obviously, there's not too much to tell about this play, but for those of you that don't know, we're going to go over it a little bit more. And I do believe that the screen pass here is really what's going to open everything up, because a lot of the stuff that we do is to X and triangle. So you're going to see a lot of cross man, etc. to that. And really, it's going to allow circle and square to run free a lot. If you're running this scheme a lot against somebody, they're going to catch on. They're going to start manning up X and triangle, cross man, etc. And that's when out routes and things like the screen pass are really going to come into play, because you don't want to abuse screen passes, because obviously a user can really clamp down on it, or they can do things to stop it. But we all know that screens, when you catch someone off guard, are really, really deadly. So it's a two route play, and we're going to take a look at how we're going to run it. So we're going to stare down square, and we're going to look at the defenders. And that's going to tell us whether it's man or zone. Now here, we look at the defenders, and we see that some of them back up. So we know that it's zone coverage. And so all we do is we make the throw at the appropriate time. A lot of times I like to throw it as quick as possible, but you're not able to do that every time. Now, as you see here, with the way that the defense is, this could potentially be man coverage. Now, it is a little bit difficult to tell, just because he does have the one linebacker in a zone. But look at R1. If we get an inkling at all that it's man coverage, R1 is going to be the read. And as you can see, he is wide open. So we can take a quick peek at R1. And if R1 is covered, then we can go back to square and maybe throw that ball. Otherwise, we're going to have to either take off with our quarterback or just throw it away. But we're able to get it to R1, wide open, and we end up tying up the game. So it is really, really simple. But again, see, this is how the defenders react when it's man coverage. They just jump right down at square. And so that's when we want to take a look at R1. And he's going to beat that coverage every single time. Now, when they press, it is a little bit different. You're not going to be facing a ton of press coverage when you're in 5 wide. I don't believe, because of the unbumpable fades and just because of a lot of things. I didn't really face much press coverage. And when they did, they got out of it pretty quick because, like I said, with the dual drags on some of the plays, etc. So here we look at it again, and we just see right away. We're just staring down square. And so now, basically, it becomes almost a blind throw to R1. R1 is getting pressed, though. So sometimes it's 4th down. So we have no other option in this scenario. So we just have to throw it, and he beats his man, and we end up completing the pass. So that's really, it's up to you as far as risk goes. Here, we throw it right away, and we're good to go. We get 3 blockers, and if we make one move there, we're gone. So like I said, pretty basic, guys. The last play, double ins, was a play that we really had no adjustments other than streaking the slot and then putting circle on an out route, a smart routed out route, or we could smart out route square as well. So there's really no adjustments to those plays. We have adjustments to the other plays, but it is good to quick snap if we get a good look, right? I mean, if there's off coverage on the slot and there's press on the outside, this is the perfect time to run it, because there's only 2 defenders out there over Brown and Rogers. And it's off coverage on Wheaton. So if it does end up being man coverage, Wheaton is going to run free, wide open. But if it ends up being zone coverage, we're in a great scenario, because our guys are going to go out to block. Hopefully they're blitzing, off the edge, or sending at least one of those guys. And then let's take a look at what happens. Okay, so it ends up in a scenario where it's just one-on-one, and it's up to our receiver to just basically run into the open space and see how many yards we can get. We didn't have an extra blocker. We didn't have a +1 scenario, which is what we're looking for. Like right here, we end up getting a +1 scenario. There's 3 guys, 2 defenders, including the guy he's using right now, and it's just about getting in behind those guys. So it's really that simple. I imagine that everyone knows how to run screen passes by now. It's pretty simple, but you know, you never know. Maybe some people don't fully understand the method behind how to throw to other routes. Sometimes I see people, they'll just, if they call a screen, they're just going to throw it to the screen regardless. And they're not even going to look at how many defenders are over top of the two receivers on the screen side. Like right here, there's really only two defenders. So this is the perfect time to throw it. The safety's deep, so the safety doesn't matter. Safety ends up coming down, but if there's only two defenders over there, we're good. This is exactly when we want to throw it, when we think that it's zone coverage. So we just wait in this scenario, and then we're gone. So that's it, guys. Like I said, I will be posting probably another play or two. I've got some high point passing that we're going to do. Unfortunately, beating nickel blitz out of the New Orleans Saints playbook is a little bit tougher than if you have a custom, because there's one play that we really need to add in order to beat nickel blitz consistently, like basically just rip it apart. It's not in the New Orleans Saints playbook. So I will get into that for you CFM guys. Hope you enjoyed this video. Just putting pieces of the puzzle together. I know it's nothing fancy, but hey, it is what it is. So subscribe. I'll see you soon.